product specification kind of things. We can show the demo, and then it will be easy for you to be searched on that particular point.
Correct.
So guys, since we don't have our presentation, since Britta's still offline, why don't Mick, you and Atul give your intros, and then maybe we'll jump into the demo?
Yes.
I'd be really happy to do that. And then if Britta comes back, we can go over some of the content, if you like, and the rationale for NowCreate. So yeah, so hello everybody. I'm Mick Jennings. I'm based in the UK, as you can see from my t-shirt. I do love NowCreate. I've been with ServiceNow, first joined in 2015, and I was actually engagement manager, so I was deploying the solution to our customers. And then about 4.5, maybe 5 years ago, certainly 4.5 years ago, joined a team that was working on this thing called NowCreate, and have been working on NowCreate ever since. And now I have a team of content, we call them content producers, who are responsible for publishing content onto NowCreate. So yeah, that's me, and I'm going to do a demonstration of the platform in a few moments.
Thanks, Mick. So myself, Atul Grover. I'm working as a senior business process consultant with the DXC technology. In ServiceNow ecosystem, it's more than 10 years now, and I'm a two-time ServiceNow MVP as well. Very known on the social media as a learn and grow together with Atulji. So I'm famous with that name as well. And definitely I'm here today to be show more about NowCreate, because as Mick said that he's the one of the person who will be using NowCreate and building NowCreate, and I'm the one of the person who is using NowCreate for day in, day out for my project implementation, and a lot of more we have hidden in the slides now, which we can show very quickly on that particular part. So before I hand over to Mick for the demonstration, I request everybody, if you have any question, please don't use the chat. We have a Q&A specifically here. You can put your question in the Q&A board, and we as a panelist will going to be work on that particular, and we'll start to be replying on the particular questions as well. If possible, we can pick up the questions as a live. If not, we try to be answered as clear as possible in the chat, in the QA section itself. Over to you, Mick, now.
Sure, thank you. So let me share my screen. Atul, tell me when you can see it.
Yes, I can see.
Awesome. Okay, so we were going to be doing a poll. Hopefully Britta might come back and she will still be able to run this to tell how many people are using it, are planning to use it, etc. But this is the home screen for NowCreate. So NowCreate was really put in place some time ago. When I first joined and was an engagement manager, we did not have NowCreate. We had something, if people go back this far, in 2015, 2016, we had something called ServiceNow implementation methodology, which was not nearly as comprehensive. And one of the things, or a few of the things that we wanted to try and resolve was consistency of the way that we implement solutions, making sure we get to outcomes very quickly, making sure that the products that you purchased, you actually deploy, and making sure that upgrades are done very successfully. And one of the ways to do that was, we felt, was to put in place this platform called NowCreate. So this is the home screen. This is what you'll find when you come here. When you come here for the first time, you might either be asked to register. If you've got a login to ServiceNow, you should be able to get in, no problem. But if you haven't, if you can't, then you can always raise a case. Yeah, so the home screen is pretty simplistic. So welcome to NowCreate. It tells you a bit about what NowCreate is. So NowCreate offers step-by-step delivery guidance based on real-world experiences. Genuinely does that. If you've been using it for a while, along the top line, you'll be seeing content. And by that, I mean, when we say assets, we mean documents. We also have this term of success packs, which I will come on to in a minute. So if you've recently viewed one, you'll see that in the top ribbon. There's a few tiles here in the middle. You can click here and learn about the methodology. This takes you to an ebook and some specific training if you or your teams want to get more acquainted with and better prepared for NowCreate. you can go and search for an asset straight away or a document, or you can search for a success pack, and I'm going to come back to that. You can also see what you've recently downloaded. So I've downloaded PPM Process Workshop, potentially ready for this, and some other assets. And it also spotlights some key areas. And if you're subscribed to an asset, it will show the subscriptions in the bottom right-hand corner. So we have the concept of a success pack, and a success pack really is just a collection of tasks and content that help you run your implementation. So NowCreate is an implementation methodology. So it helps you get started all the way from get started to complete. So if I initially search for a success pack, it will help me to do that in a number of different ways. So I can look for in product suites or in products themselves. But for example, if I just wanted to type in, if I was implementing PPM, project and portfolio management, I could just type in project. And this gives me 3 choices for these things called success packs. So I don't really want hybrid project management. I'm not interested in digital project portfolio management, but I am absolutely interested in project and portfolio management. I can see my screen is deliberately quite small because I'm going to show you something in a minute, but I can see that this has been downloaded 3,600 times. So I'm pretty confident that that's the one. If I click on this now, this will take me to what we call a methodology map. Okay, looks really overwhelming, but I promise you, I really promise you it's not. All of our success packs kind of follow the same routine insofar as we have 5 key stages or phases: initiate, plan, execute, deliver, close, kind of traditional. We more recently added get started because we got some feedback to say people wanted to understand like prior to initiate. So initiate is when we would start. On the left-hand side, oh, Britta's, hello, Britta, you're back. We've kicked things off, Britta. If we can go back, then we absolutely will, okay?
No, just carry on.
Yeah, okay. So on the left-hand side, we have what we call work streams. So value management and analytics, project and program management. If there are, so I was personally responsible for this whole line back 4 years ago or so you can blame me for that. Architectural technical governance, which I think is probably more interesting for platform owners. Design, build, and unit test. This is where you actually do the workshops and the like. Testing, OCM, and support. All of the success packs will follow a very similar look and feel. Each one of these colored lines is a task. All right, so I'm going to dive into one of those in a minute. But on the right-hand side, we also have some additional filters. So if I click on there and then I look for platform owner, for example, normally I would look for a business process owner because that's normally who I analyst, so I usually present to. But if I look at a platform owner, for example, can you see that some of these lines are now shaded out and some of them are much more prominent? Okay, so I can now look and see what I am responsible for, what we think you're responsible for, or maybe you're accountable for, and I can start to drill into those if I want to, which I will. I can also take a video tour. I can actually export this, and when we say people have downloaded success packs, you can go through a process, you can export this, and actually it presents you and puts a ready-made project plan, albeit that you have to put the dates in, of course, but a ready-made project plan straight into PPM if you want, or Microsoft Project, or just download. Yeah, so, or you can just share this with somebody. All right, so for example, I did a bit of thinking beforehand, and I'm thinking, well, actually, what do platform owners want to look at? Maybe discover value. So if I look at discover value, and I look at maybe define what a value blueprint is. it brings me up with a very specific set of questions and also some directions. So why do we need to do this? The purpose. What happens if you don't do it? The RACI around it, who's responsible, accountable, consulted, informed, etc. Some very specific how guidance. We also have the concept of inputs and outputs. So what inputs need to be, you need to have for this particular task. So for this one, you actually, we have quite a popular asset, which is called a recommended implementation sequence. Okay, so this takes you to another screen where you can look to see potentially which release this is concerned with. So it's Xanadu, but we do go back to San Diego, Tokyo, Vancouver, and Washington if you wanted to. You can copy this asset link, send it to somebody else, or you can download it if you wanted to. I already have one downloaded, so it doesn't have to take too long. So a strategic portfolio management recommended implementation sequence. And this will give you, don't worry about needing to see this, but the fact it will give you this thing called foundation, crawl, walk, run. So from an implementation sequence, and you wanting to put strategic portfolio management in place, what do you need to build your foundation? What do you need to take you to the next step in terms of crawl, walk, run? And it takes you all the way through that, not just with SPM, but actually Agile and a few other areas. So that is just an example of an asset that you can access and download pretty much straight away. All right. Every single page pretty much will have the thumbs up, thumbs down. All right. So this is where you can give feedback. So thumbs up if you like it, and ideally a comment. Thumbs down if you think there's something not quite right with it and you want to dive in and tell us. We really, really welcome feedback. We want feedback. Especially, I don't think I've ever seen any feedback from a platform owner. So we really appreciate if you could give us feedback on some of the content within the platform. All right. So if you then wanted to go back, you can either go back to the Success Pack and carry on looking for content. All right. You can carry on looking for all of these lots of different tasks. One of the most popular is actually when you conduct workshops. Maybe Atul will talk to that, but conducting workshops, platform workshop, process workshop, integration workshops, and we have huge decks that are ready made just for you. You can use 4 slides, you can use all 200 slides, entirely up to you. All right. If you did want to then go back to the home screen, you can absolutely do that as well. If you're very familiar with NowCreate and you've been using it for a while, maybe you just want to go and search for an asset. You can absolutely do that. All right. I looked for one earlier, which I think was strategic. Spell. Strategic value. If I can spell, I can't spell. There we go.
Nobody can spell when everybody's watching.
That's very true. All right. And I picked up this one, which was how to have effective strategic conversations about value. Right. Again, you can go through the same motions. I do have that kind of waiting in the wings as well. So again, this might be an asset that would be interesting to you as platform owners to how do you have strategic conversations about value? All right. And it gives you some step-by-step guidance on how to do that, who you would need to liaise with, etc. So it goes into quite a lot of detail. All right. So that is NowCreate in a nutshell. I could talk about NowCreate for the next hour or so if Britta did let me do that. But at its heart, it is an implementation methodology where you can get very prescriptive guidance through the use of success packs, all of those colored lines. You don't have to use all of them. Your partners will be using them. Your teams will be using them. ServiceNow, if we're implementing with you, will be using them. You don't necessarily need to use them all, but there's some great content in there. Even if you're doing OCM, there's some great content for showing how and do the communications around it. All right, so that is at its heart. One thing I would say, and Atul will probably cover this as well, so I don't want to ruin too much, do come back on a regular basis to look for content. We update it every family release. We're just going through a big Xanadu release at the moment. So new Xanadu content is coming in at the moment. We'll do Yokohama in Q2 next year. So even if you've downloaded an asset and if it's kind of product specific, do come back and look for a new version because it will probably be there. I am going to stop there, Britta, because I'm conscious of time.
Yes, and Yvette is going to try to kick off our poll for us because when I came back in, I lost access to the polls. So we just kind of wanted to know how much you're using NowCreate, if you use it at all. We'd hope to run this at the beginning of the webinar to try to get a good feeling for what your familiarity is with NowCreate, but obviously we had some technical difficulties and that didn't happen. So it looks like there's some folks here that have never used it. So this hopefully will be a really good opportunity for you to learn more about it. Some people aren't using it a whole lot. We have a few going in every day and a few once a week. So I hope that this will help everybody get more familiar with the NowCreate content and start using it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. And I'm going to catch up the slides to where we should be. I do want to just mention, because I wasn't here at the beginning, we have the forward-looking statements that we make in any of our webinars, just to say that any future functionality that is discussed here may or may not happen and may or may not happen on any time frame that is discussed. So that's just to keep everybody safe. And also, because this webinar is recorded, we ask that you don't share any confidential information here that you wouldn't want to be available to the entire world, because a recording will be posted and available after the webinar. So now we're gotten through most of this content.
I kind of covered that. I didn't talk about this actually, Peter. So just purely from a identity, yeah. I just want to give you an understanding of actually the popularity of NowCreate. So for those, I can't remember the percentage, but about 36% never used it. So I would really, really encourage you to go and have a look at it and start to, if you think it's useful, start to use it. We've got about 122,000 unique users. Partners are our biggest user, and then customers, and then our own teams. So it's super popular. We've had about 2 million documents downloaded. We have about 1,000 assets in our backlog. So chances are you're going to find something that you like. And in terms of those success packs that I showed you, the colored lines, we've had those downloaded 76,000 times, and there are about 55 of them that are there. So again, I'd encourage you to look at those, and if you think they're useful, just please do download them. Yeah. So Britta, that's me.
Something for everyone. Right, something for everyone there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Atul, we're going to move the floor over to you. We're going to use the cane and drag Mick off the stage here and let you.
Sure. Thanks, Britta, and thanks, Mick. So now, before I ask Britta to go for the next slide, and I try to answers a lot of questions as well. The first question comes in mind, that why I should use the NowCreate, or if I talk about my personal experience, that why I start using NowCreate. I'll give a very simple example, because as I said that I'm working as a business process consultant, and every day and day out, we have to go to customers for the workshops, requirement gathering, presentations, kind of things. So one day what happened, that one of my team lead says, Atul, and we are 2 teammates there under him. He says, can you prepare a slide about the incident management, which is cover the ServiceNow incident management? I said, okay. I'm having good experience, so I prepare a good slides, including incident, category, SLAs, notifications, and then done. My other teammate also prepared the slides. He put a little bit more on the top of that. He added incident management, category, portal, and done. Then the question comes that my lead says that who is the right here? Either Atul is right or the other person is right, because you both prepared the slides, but there's a difference in the slides. Then I thought we need something in the picture which can help us to provide a standard documentation given by ServiceNow, because everybody say that this is coming out of the box. ServiceNow provide these many features out of the box, but have anything on the documented part? You can go in the docs, you can find out, but searching the docs is again a big task. So in that time, this particular NowCreate come into the picture, and now I request Beta, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so I'll pick up this part now. How should I use it? Means what are the use cases where I can use or this particular NowCreate in my day-to-day life, I can say. Number one, this is a first stop shop for me, which is helpful for me to get the success spec product wise, and I can filter the role wise as well. I guess someone put in the question that can we get something from the role wise? Yes. So as Mick shows a demo that you can filter with the BA, business analyst, you can filter with the product owner, you can do the sponsor as well. It means in the success spec, I can see that where I am accountable and where I'm responsible. Accountable and responsible are two different things here. Accountable mainly focus on the outcomes, where responsible focus on the task. And only one person can be accountable for one activity. Second, for my workshops, as I said that being a BPC, being a BA, I have to go to the customer side, have to prepare the slides, and I can't go again and again to create a lot of slides freshly. So what I do, I go in the NowCreate, search for the requirement, and done my part. Like incident management process guide, incident management presentations, incident management status stories, change management status stories. So I can go in the assets and I can download that particular part. The third and foremost benefit is this point is that to get a standard template. As I say, two teammates prepare the two different slides for the incident management, and it is tough to take a decision that what is right and what is wrong. So this is the only standard documentation which is provided by ServiceNow, where you can believe by closing your eyes as well. Yes, this which is mentioned in the NowCreate documentation, in the process documents, in the process guides, in the status stories are completely out of the box, and I can use my things. And last, to create my project task. Now I give example. In the last just a few months, 2 months back, we upgraded our client from the Vancouver to the Washington DC. And believe me, we use the NowCreate functionality. Now the question comes, Atul, how you can use the NowCreate for the upgrade? Because there is a success pack available for the upgrades as well. So we download that upgrade, put in our project management, and our work has been done. Nothing to be worried because everything has been defined. We have to just go and put the dates, and we just put the assign to there. Now, what are the benefits for this NowCreate? Number one, time and cost saver. Means no need to repeat the slides, no need to put the fancy things, present animations kind of things. You have standard things, and you can use your own company logo along with the NowCreate presentations as well, which is completely time saving and the cost saving, because you're saving the efforts. Ready-made, easy to do, quickly download, and you can send to your customers as well. Number two, standard and completely out of the box. Let me repeat it. Let me put it here. In the NowCreate, you will not get any information about the licensing. We're just talking about the modules and its working, its functionality specifically. So you will get the completely out of the box. So now, if anybody who is using NowCreate, go to the NowCreate, search for the asset called Incident Management Process Workshop Presentation. You will get 100+ slides in that presentation. And believe me, you don't need to be worried about what has been left from the starting from the form design, form workflow, flow, virtual agent, inbound email action, portal, record producer, everything will be covered in that particular part. It means, again, complete standard compact package has been given to me. And the last point, these are regularly get updated as well. I guess someone put in the question as well that how frequently it's updated. Almost in every, I found personally that in every release, this get updated. It means if you're on the Zenando version now, you can get the Zenando features in that particular slides as well, even though including your workspace feature also part of this particular thing. So this is from my side, Beta. We can go to the next slide now. I guess it's a poll, if I'm not wrong. Yes.
Yep. So we're gonna run another poll here real quick to find out how you found out about NowCreate. Boy, it's been a rough morning. So did you find out through going to a Now Learning course, your implementation team or account team, colleague, the community, from a non-ServiceNow resource? And I'm a little scared that I see other running there at about almost 30% of people. Which shows we're not doing a really great job of letting everybody know about this great resource that's available to you. So we got about 59–60% of folks. We still have some answers coming in here. Also, please just remember to put your questions into the Q&A. We'll pick those up throughout the webinar, and you know, if we feel like it's one that would be helpful to everybody, we might save it till the end. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. So it looks like the majority of people are finding out about NowCreate from their account or implementation team, or Now Learning or the community. So that's good feedback for us to know where we're finding this information. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to move into our breakout.
Create recently.
Oh, there we go. Now we're back.
Yep, everybody's back here now.
Yes, is everybody back?
Our room was notified, and then we never actually left. So we were just kind of like, and then boom, we were gone. Okay.
I said I tried to give you an 8-minute warning so nobody would be surprised. All right, sorry, I need to go back here a couple slides. Okay, so do we have everybody back?
Yep, people are coming back now. Almost.
Dadgummit,
Half has been
here.
left now. Earlier we have 67, 36 are still there.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have another poll here before we move into our regular Q&A. We'd like to know, now that you have had some exposure to NowCreate, do you think your usage of it will go up? Oh boy, look at that. We're all of a sudden getting a lot more once a day, once a week kind of responses. So we're not having, oh, there goes a couple every 6 months, but maybe it's somebody whose role doesn't really require these resources a lot. But it looks like everybody is pretty much going to be using it at least once a week, if not every day. So that's amazing. Thank you for that. I think that's a testament to how well Mick and Atul explained the benefits of NowCreate. So hopefully that'll be really helpful to everybody. So now we're just going to open it up to some general Q&A here for about 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap and talk about next month. So if you have any questions that you really want to bring up here, and I'm going to go check the Q&A and see what we have lurking out there. So we do have a question from Suresh. He says some artifacts are showing some links and it represents the ServiceNow high spot. Unfortunately, it was decommissioned last year, but the correct links are not in the artifacts.
Is that in the, I think if that is in an asset, Suresh, what I would encourage you to do is, you know, those thumbs up, thumbs downs, click on the thumbs down, I guess, if there's something that's not quite right, put it in there, tell us which link is not working, and we'll absolutely, if it's to do with the NowCreate content, we'll absolutely go and correct that. So thank you very much. Again, encourage people to give us feedback. We can only make it better. So really happy with that.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely. And also we got another feedback that can we add some kind of a use cases in the NowCreate presentations, might be how to use this particular product in the live example. So this is one of the feedback which I got.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, the content in NowCreate is much more up to date than it was 2 years ago. I think, you know, you've made a lot of strides on that team of keeping all that content up to date, but it is a huge lift to do so. And I know there's been a lot of questions or conversation about the HubSpot or HighSpot. Yeah, so there's a new partner portal now. I'm told it doesn't have quite as much functionality as you had on HighSpot, and I had nothing to do with that, but I apologize anyway. That is the new place where you're supposed to go that replaces the HighSpot. Any other questions that anybody has that they would like to bring up?
And just to be sure, as a recap, that in our breakout room we have a discussion that there's a gentleman named Jeff. They're using NowCreate for the new implementation, and they're very much happy with this content is NowCreate providing to run the workshops as well. And that's a good one, good feedback. And also, we recommend people not only use the NowCreate for the workshops, you can use the NowCreate presentations for the learning as well. Might be your client is not looking for the new module, but you want to be learned. So you can download that presentation, you can go through one by one slides, and it is easy for you to learn as well on that particular part. So multiple ways to use NowCreate. It's up to you to be dependent how to be use that particular option.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question now. If there are assets tied to the old version, new tab still active and the same content is still ready for the new release. Might be Mick is the right person to be
Yeah,
answered.
so the answer to your so that's Fitz. So the answer is probably yes. So the question is if there are assets tied to an old version of ServiceNow, e.g. Utah, and we haven't updated it, it will probably mean that that is still relevant for the new version, or it might mean that we're in the process of updating it. But again, if you want to ask a question, you can use the thumbs up, thumbs down as well. So if you wanted to ask us that question, Fitz, you're more than welcome, and we can let you know. But yeah, that's a really good question, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we have had a lot of great questions. I do want to revisit one that was answered in offline about the platform owner packs. Are there any specific ones for that or persona? Atul answered that and said, yes, we do have success packs by role, but Stefan kind of came back and said that his feeling is the platform owner stuff is quite general and would like to know how is it decided what content is considered appropriate for the platform owners.
Is that a question?
Yes,
Richard?
yes.
Yeah, it's what considered. Well, when we looked at the content, we didn't think, oh, that's relevant for a platform owner or a platform architect or whatever. What we tried to do is go back. If you think about the success packs and the specific tasks, the RACI around the specific task determines who is responsible or accountable for that particular task. And with each task, most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, you will have an asset associated with that. So it's kind of based on that. Generally speaking, I would say the value stream at the top and the governance piece, technical governance piece, are more platform orientated, although there are definitely some areas around support and how how you go from an implementation team to a support team. That is also kind of important for platform owners. But we didn't think of an asset and think, oh, a platform owner might be interested in that. We did it more at the task level. I don't know if that answered the question. There's another one there. Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that and say that, the other challenge around platform owner content is because the role varies so much from company to company. It is difficult to hit the sweet spot with that and not have overwhelming amount of content. But let's get to these questions here. So Jeff said, is there a NowCreate option that would help with the overall road mapping for the platform as a whole? If not, where can he find that?
I was looking at that one, Jeff. I can't think of something that's in NowCreate per se. I'm thinking that may be more of an impact thing. And I don't know if you have any other sessions on impact, Britta, but I'm thinking if it's an overall roadmap, that is probably an impact question rather than NowCreate. Or what do you think?
Well, Jericho chimed in on the chat and said that they found the capability map to be helpful, which I think is a good call out.
So actually, Jericho, that's a really good point. So if you search for capability map in the assets, there's a really good capability map that tries to list everything because it's changing so much, and we are just about to update that for Xanadu. That will show you, it gives you a bit of a tool. But also coming back to if you're thinking about a roadmap or planning, it's not for the platform as a whole, because those recommended implementation sequences, that crawl, walk, run, fly kind of asset I showed you, does kind of show you a roadmap. but it is much more product specific.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, we're gonna have to wrap up now.
Oh,
I know Prakash, you do have a question out there. We'll address that offline. And also there will be a version of this deck available as a PDF on the community as well as the recording. We want to leave you with a few resources that you can go back to, post the webinar. And then also make sure that you're signed up for the November roundtable. We originally, as some of you know, we're supposed to be talking about organizational change management this month, but due to the SME's availability, we moved that out till November. So we're hoping that we'll see all of you there with your questions about organizational change management. And thank you all for attending today. It was a great session. Thanks to everybody for rolling with the technical difficulties. It just goes to show that, one person is not the linchpin for everything. The team kicked in here and took care of everything for me. So I appreciate that and look forward to seeing you all next month. Take care.
Sure. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.